Hello, my name is Sarah Willoughby. I'm the author of the book He's Making Diamonds, A Teen's Thoughts on Faith Through Chronic Illness. And I'm the host of the Diamonds Conference, which is an semi-annual online conference for chronically ill Christians. And this channel is all about writing when you have a chronic illness or struggle with health challenges, because writing is hard, illness is hard, combine the two together and it can feel impossible. But it's not, and I'm proof. So today I want to talk about how to write up vulnerably about hard things. When I'm a blogger, I'm a nonfiction writer, and I write a lot about what I'm going through, about chronic illness, about the struggles that I face. And I think that that's so important because our stories can encourage each other. When we share vulnerably what's going on in our lives and what God's doing and the things that we're struggling with, it lets other people know that they're not alone. And that's so important and that's so huge. And with someone who has a chronic illness or health challenges, you have a unique opportunity and ability to connect with people, to reach out to them, to share your powerful testimony in your story. But there's such a balance. I got a message a few years ago from someone, and he said, "How do you decide what to write about and what to keep private? I read your most recent post about feeling guilty for the expenses of your medical care, and I was amazed at how honest and vulnerable you are. It's really hard to write about such personal feelings, but it can really help others. Yet at the same time, I know that one needs to be careful to not use their blog as a journal or super private thoughts. How do you find that balance?" That's a good question. And I think the first step is to finding that balance is really to be asking that question. So often we either guard and we don't share anything personal, or we overshare and we like to tell everyone everything all the time because we want to be seen and understood as well. And we want to know that we're not alone as well. But there does have to be a balance there. Our weaknesses, one of my favorite verses is 2 Corinthians 12:9, which says, "But he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." And our weaknesses can glorify God. They can be sharing our hard things can be incredibly powerful. However, we're also supposed to guard our heart, and there are things that are meant to be personal and private and sacred and special, just for you, just between you and God, just between you and other people. And we're not supposed to just put everything out there for everyone all the time, and that's such a tricky balance. But one tip that I want to give you, I have 6 of them, so we're going to go through this fast. One tip: get someone you trust to give you feedback. It's hard sometimes to see past the emotions and know if this is something that something you're writing is helpful for someone or not, especially when it's about a hard thing. So get someone you trust to be honest, to be open, also to be gentle, to give you feedback. 2, wait 24 hours. That's a rule that I've put in place. I don't publish something on my blog or social media or whatever until it's been at least 24 hours since I wrote it, so that I've had time to get out of whatever emotional, mental spiral or thought process I was in and sleep, eat, get a renewed perspective and go, okay, do I still want everyone to read this? Do I still want to share this with everyone? And sometimes the answer is yes. Sometimes it's no, but that 24 hours gives you time to think, gives you time to not make a rash decision. Number 3, sometimes it's wait, not don't share. There are things that right now I'm not sharing with the world. There are things that I'm writing about that I'm not sharing. I've gotten blog posts and devotionals already, but I'm not ready to share them yet. However, there are some things that I'm just never going to share. However, there are other things where maybe I'm not ready to share it right now, but that doesn't mean that it won't be good in the long term. And in the long term, when I've had time to process, I've had time to think through these things, then maybe I'll be in a place where sharing it isn't sharing something so personal because it's not in the moment, but it's something that is still really helpful because other people go through it too. So sometimes you don't have to completely say, I'm not sharing this ever. You could wait. And sometimes that can help. So number 4, pray about it. God knows what is healthy to share and what's not. He knows what boundaries we need in our lives. He knows what other people need to hear from us. And this goes for, not just writing, but sharing about what we're going through in general. And that can be such a tricky balance as someone who has a chronic illness. But praying about it, seeking wisdom, seeking guidance in that way is helpful. Hopeful too, I guess, but helpful. This next one, number 5, seems obvious, but keep other people's secrets. As you write about vulnerable things, your story is yours to share or to not share, to guard or to tell. Other people's stories are not. So we want to be very careful that we are respecting and honoring our friends and our family and our acquaintances in our writing, and not sharing their secrets, not sharing their personal, deep, vulnerable struggles, unless they've given us permission to do so. And if you're in doubt, ask. I tend to err on the side of caution. If it's at all possible for any like to tell who I'm talking about in my writing, I always will ask the person, are you okay with me publishing this? And most of the time they're like, Sarah, it's fine, it doesn't matter. But when in doubt, just ask. There's nothing wrong with that. And number 6 is don't give all the details. You can share something really personal and really vulnerable and share the truth that other people need to hear, that you're learning from that, without giving every single detail. And that's a way that you can be vulnerable while still having boundaries. Now, details that from a writer's perspective are important. They help the reader get into the perspective of the writer. They help shape out, a situation, but you don't have to give all the details. You can leave out names. You can leave out time frames. You can leave out just all kinds of stuff. And so that's one way that you can share your story, share vulnerably, share what's going on without completely, dumping everything out there for the world to see when you're not ready for it, maybe when your friends or family aren't ready for it, or when it's just not time yet or not healthy to share those things. So the whole point of writing vulnerably, the whole point of sharing our struggles, which are so important to share, is to bring people to God, to bring God glory, to point to Him. So just overall, think about that. So we're going to recap real fast. We have get someone you trust to give you feedback. Wait at least 24 hours. Sometimes it's wait, not don't share. Pray about it. Keep other people's secrets, and don't always give all the details. So I hope that helped you. Feel free to comment below what your experience has been sharing vulnerably. Is that something that you do? Is that something that scares you? What should we talk about next? See you in the next video.